Hello and welcome to another episode of The Ty Brown Show. Guys, this podcast is so much fun. I love getting feedback. I love hearing from you. Super fun. This week I had someone reach out to me who is like an actual radio broadcaster. It made me feel really cool that someone who broadcasts things would be listening here to the podcast and joining the dispute resolution revolution. All right, guys, this week's episode is called Getting the Rest of the Story, or Get the Rest of the Story. And this is really a call to action in the dispute resolution revolution, because a lot of times our problems, our conflicts, the issues we have with others, a lot of times they're solved if we can just keep this commitment to getting the rest of the story. So it's happening. It's going down in 3, 2, and 1.
Podcasting from Conciliators, this is the Ty Brown Show. If you're a human and you think you might have to interact with other humans at some point, and you'd like that to go well, then listen up.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to get cozy with conflict. Let's go.
And we're back. Okay. Hope you're ready to roll, guys. We're going to learn some things that are going to help us. And I have to say, I've heard a lot of feedback, especially recently, about how it's like, hey, wouldn't you know? But a lot of these dispute resolution principles, they really do improve communication. They have actually made an impact on people's relationships. And so the revolution marches on. You're probably wondering, well, how well does it march along? Well, our listener base has grown. It is up to 1,632. That's not bad, guys. It's getting serious now. There are people tuning in. There are people learning things, sharing this with your family. Please do share this. Share it with your loved ones, your friends. In this together, we can, if we're all working at our interactions, improving our disputes, our conflict management skills, we will have happier lives. We will have better communities. We will be able to extinguish some of the contempt that just cankers all of the human dialogue these days. It's true that so many conversations are focused on either forming alliances, so others can share the contempt we feel for a group of people or something, or they're just actually spent in actual disagreement. And I'm not talking about productive disagreement, which is actually a good thing. It should be encouraged. I'm talking about the mindless exchange of verbal hand grenades, not conversations where you're understanding each other and making reasonable, calculated decisions. So that's my little rant. Really happy to see that the listener base continues to grow. Every week I wonder, I'm like, this is going to be the week where it falters. But we've been okay. So keep sharing it, guys, because we got to do this. All right. So this week, get the rest of the story. You'll notice, by the way, last week I didn't publish an episode. I'm kind of doing an every other week thing now, and that's not because I'm running out of content or stories. It's mostly because I'm just really busy and having a hard time keeping up the schedule. It takes me forever to publish these things. The recording doesn't take too long, but publishing them takes forever. So sorry about that. We'll keep them coming. Just don't give up on me, all right? All right. Today, November 25th, this little side note. It's my birthday today, guys. I'm getting older and very, very wise now, very mature, Yeah, no more shenanigans for me. I celebrated my birthday by growing a beard for a week. That was nice. Emily loved that. It turns out that kissing, like the kissing someone with this beard thing going on, yeah, it's totally different, feels different. And I noticed there was a marked, statistically significant decrease in kisses. So I went ahead and shaved today after a week of fabulous beard growth. But it's gone, guys. It's gone. All right. Speaking of birthday, I wanted to tell you guys a cool gift idea because we're in a season of gift giving. Emily got me 3 months of violin lessons. Isn't that a cool gift? That's like outside the box thinking, clever. I'm way excited about it. I had my first lesson just barely, and it was fun, and I've got a lot to learn. I'm not musical, so this is a new thing, but what a cool gift. So there's an idea for you guys. All right. So last time, I should say, we talked about gratitude, how it makes really makes you happier, and it makes contempt disappear. It is the great antidote to contempt if you can feel gratitude in your heart. Now, there hasn't been hardly any research done. In fact, I found almost nothing connecting gratitude to conflict management or dispute resolution or difficult conversations. Why not? I mean, I think, I don't know, I might have to put on my research academia hat and put something together to get published, because there is a really significant connection, almost mysteriously deep, between gratitude and dispute resolution. I've noticed this mostly as a casual observer of someone who facilitates resolution. I see that there are people who are, resolving concerns, and the ones who do it best, they just are grateful people. Like the people who are gracious and grateful, there's some sort of connection between that and the skill of conflict management. So something to think on there, guys. If you're really wanting to up your game, if you're really wanting to take it to the next level, focus on developing the habits of gratitude. And so anyway, go back and listen to last week if you want to know more about that. All right. So our topic today, get the rest of the story. This is our big principle. This is a piggyback actually on the episode of Humble Curiosity. This is our mindset episode really early on. I don't know, one of the first 3 episodes, I think. But humble curiosity is a mindset, and getting the rest of the story is the result of having that mindset. So if it's hard for you to conceptualize, I want to embody this new mindset. I want to adopt this new perspective that's going to make me so much better in all of my human interactions. If that's like a hard thing for you to then, I guess, take and make it into a behavior, then this is like the default. This is like the next best thing. If that's just not clicking, if it's not jiving, this is the next best thing. You just focus on getting the rest of the story. Because if that's your mission, you will succeed. I mean, it's a skill that it needs no teaching. It's just like, hey, I have this goal. I want to get the rest of the story. And if you do that, you're going to find that it has a really significant impact on your life, particularly on your difficult conversations. So if mindset is difficult for you, just ask yourself, have I gotten the rest of the story? Okay, so to illustrate the principle, I wanted to share a couple of quick stories that will demonstrate the power of getting the rest of the story. And it's so funny, by the way, when I'm like working with people, business clients on their disputes, I will ask them about the rest of the story. And it's funny because what I'm trying to do is to invite them to consider the fact that they probably don't know everything. And I'm always met with a lot of resistance on that, which is strange. Are we so prideful as to think that we always know the whole story? I hope not. If you're there, you've got an inward mindset that is not doing you any favors, and it's going to make your life a little more miserable. Okay, story. Here goes. All right, so I had a meeting set up with a business partner, and it's a regularly occurring meeting, never changes, it's always the same. And I was just sitting there one day, and the 2 o'clock rolled around, and he wasn't there. I thought, must be running a little late. And if I'm honest, this guy's often running, a couple minutes behind. Not too bad, but a little bit. And so anyway, there I was waiting, and 10 minutes go by, and then 15 minutes go by, and now I'm like kind of mad because I'm like not having the most productive time because I'm just sort of waiting for this meeting to start, and I'm just kind of doing, just going through emails and stuff but nothing really productive. And so I'm getting kind of mad. I'm getting frustrated. And it had been kind of a frustrating day in other ways too. And so I was prone to feeling this way, right? Well, what ends up happening is eventually I'm like, you know what? This is going to be like my frustration. Well, I'm going to do basically an experiment. It's an experiment about how inconsiderate this person is. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait here, and we're just going to see just how late he is, and then I'm going to make him feel real bad about that. That was kind of how I was feeling. And then as soon as I realized that this was the stream of consciousness I was experiencing, I took a step back. I thought, what a bizarre thing to do. It's like I'm frustrated that I'm not being productive right now, so I'm going to choose to be unproductive and hopefully make someone I care about a lot feel bad about it. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense when you say it like that, does it? So I decided, okay, you know what, I better get the rest of the story. Better figure out why he's not here. And so I reached out, no answer. So I sent a text, and I got a text back right away. And turns out he was at a doctor's appointment, at a medical appointment. He had told me about it the night before, and I just totally forgot. And so anyway, you know, you can imagine, like, you know, what a buffoon I felt like. Oh, man. And, you know, and I think I probably did make him feel bad. I think in my text that I sent over, I think I said something like, hey, you're late. What's going on? You know, I got in my little jab. And then suddenly I just felt like such a doofus. And I thought, oh, darn it. Why did I do that? And it just was this really strong reminder that, you know, if we're feeling frustration with someone else, if we're upset at them, if someone else has done something that's bothering us, there probably is more to their story that if you knew, it would make you feel a whole lot better. It would, you know, here I was assuming that this person just didn't really care. They didn't take our meeting that seriously. I was assuming that, you know, I was making all these assumptions about their intentions. And I was making those assumptions based on the way I was feeling. You know, this person not being at the meeting made me feel bad, made me feel frustrated. Here I am working hard trying to make things happen, and I can't get the support and collaboration I need. But it turns out that impact that it was having on me was not even close to what this person intended. They not even close. I mean, it was a totally backwards story. This person, you know, really wanted me to know they cared. They had told me the night before that they weren't going to be there, and I had just completely forgotten. How does that even happen? I don't even know. That's like, it doesn't make any sense, but that's the truth. That's what happened. So let it serve as a lesson to the rest of you to not make fools of yourselves. Remember that there is probably more to the story. Go out and find out what it is. Figure out, inquire before you start deciding that they meant to make you feel this way, or that they, you know, before you start assuming intentions on their part, that they don't care or whatever. Go ahead and inquire. Just make that decision. Before I assume any kind of intention, I'm going to just inquire. I'm going to ask. I'm going to figure out the rest of the story. All right, there's one story. Here's another story for you. This one's a good one because it's about my wife. I love telling stories about Emily. And it's also about my dad. And my dad is really good at, he's really good at getting the rest of the story. I would say it's one of his natural skills. He's really good at gathering the facts. And that probably comes from his legal background. He's used to just being thorough with facts. But anyway, here's an instance where it didn't happen. And then, anyway, so here it goes. Without further ado. So my dad was sending out a group text to mostly just the family members. I don't even remember what it was about. Sent out a group text about something, apparently something everyone should know about. And I don't know about the rest of you. A lot of times when I send out group texts, I will just, I'll just pick a few people. It's kind of like one representative in each family gets the text. Hey, look, everyone's on notice now. Just because it's easier than putting in everybody's names and numbers. And but anyway, in this particular instance, I remember my wife asking me if I had heard about this thing. I said, oh, you know what? I did. And I didn't tell you. I'm sorry. I got a text from my dad about that. And yeah, here are the details. And she was kind of quiet, and I could tell something was bothering her. I was like, well, what's the matter? And he goes, well, she's like, well, I kind of wish he would have included me on this text. I mean, do you think he sees me just as one of his girls, or is it different because I'm like an in-law? I was like, oh no, definitely. Like, he sees you as like one of his own, right? And she's like, well, yeah, no, I know he loves me and all that. Like, I get that, but I could still tell that it just, for some reason, was just kind of under M's skin that she wasn't included on this group text. And so the next day I remember asking my dad about that, and I don't remember what I asked, but I just kind of inquired about it. And he was like, oh, you know what? I don't think I have the right number for her. Sure enough, we look in there and he doesn't. It's not like her number changed recently. It's just like, I guess father-in-laws and daughter-in-laws don't often exchange phone numbers that often, and it had changed. And anyway, so there it was. So, anyway, but as soon as we got the rest of the story here, it was like, wow, everyone was just on the same page. And and problem resolved. I ended up telling my wife, I said, it's funny, he didn't have your right number. And she was like, oh my gosh, well, no wonder I didn't ever get that text. And it wasn't a sign that he didn't love her as much as his biological daughters. It wasn't any of that. It was just didn't have the right number. And it just, a lot of the heartache, a lot of the pain that we feel, it's a result of us telling ourselves a story that isn't the whole picture. A lot of times our story is missing some really important facts that just make it all make sense, make it all feel better. And when we don't have those facts, we're inclined to resort to assuming the wrong kinds of intentions. And that is dangerous, folks. So those are a couple of real life stories where good people with very, high communication skills and with a lot of love for each other can still just have the rest of the story missing, and it can create problems. But all it takes to get it back on track is to just ask, just inquire. So I hope that's helpful to you all. Remember, don't panic. Don't assume that the people who hurt your feelings meant to make you feel that way. If someone misses your meeting, misses your birthday, there's probably part of the story you're missing. Maybe they're at the doctor's and they told you that the night before and you're just a doofus. Yeah, I've been there, guys. I've been there. All right. So go out there, get the rest of the story. Promise you it'll help.